Hey guys, how are you doing? Hopefully you're having a great day. The 2021 bass fishing season has wrapped up for me. Bass closed November 30th in my area. So as you guys saw in my last video, the boat is winterized, put away in the garage, and recently I've been doing a fair bit of steelhead fishing. I got a little bit of an edit video coming out for you guys, and I'm slowly starting to get ready for ice fishing. I've been seeing a couple of inches up north, not quite enough for me yet, and we do have some warm temps coming, so I think I will be steelhead fishing for a little bit here, but I'm very excited for ice fishing. But yeah, bass season is done for the 2021 year, and I wanted to do a quick little recap video. Initially I was going to do my favorite baits of 2021, which I probably still will end up doing. I just have to get to the boat for that. But last night I had another idea, and I wanted to show you guys or talk about some of my favorite or most producing swim baits of 2021. I didn't film too many videos swim bait fishing. I think I got a couple, but I did do a fair bit of swim bait fishing. It was pretty tough for me this year, I can't lie, but we did catch a couple good fish, and I did try a bunch of new baits, and I have found a couple new favorites, and I wanted to talk about them, so let's get right into it. So as you guys know, I do a fair bit of multi-species angling. Bass aren't open until June in most areas of Ontario, so I do a fair bit of pike, lake trout, all that kind of stuff. So I will be talking about different species swimbait wise, mostly pike and bass though. So let's get into it. I'm going to start from spring, move on to summer, talk about some of my more memorable trips or catches, and some of my favorite swimbaits of the year. So starting off, this guy right here, I brought out pike fishing. This is the Mike Buca Bull Glide right here in a bluegill color. I actually got this bait, I believe it was for Christmas or my birthday, from Aaron, so pretty sweet gift. I took it out for the first time pike fishing this May, I believe, and I had an absolute amazing time with it. It does have a pretty nice swim to it, but where this bait really shines is fishing it a little bit more erratically, in my opinion. With my glide baits, I tend to fish them pretty fast, pretty erratically, so it might just be my style of fishing. But I've had a couple of high 30-inch pike absolutely annihilate this bait. I'll put in a couple pictures right now, like head first, just destroy it. Sweet profile for both pike and bass for lakes that don't have herring or cisco or any sort of, bait fish like that. The pike will tend to move up shallower in the grass and feed on bluegill. So this picture right here that I just posted, this fish was actually, when I approached this weed bed that I found, I saw bluegill swimming around on the edges. So what I did is I backed off on the weed line, chucked this bluegill, this bull glide, I should say, down the weed line, and he absolutely inhaled it. So pretty sweet couple of fish on it. I went up for early season as well, early smallmouth season in Ontario, and I caught a couple pretty good smallmouth on it as well. So overall, I fished it mainly in the springtime when that bluegill bite is on, and I definitely will next year once again. Overall, really happy with this bait. It's a little bit heavier, around 3 ounces or so, but had a great time with this bait this year. Next up, we're going to go to the good old Savage Gear Shine Glide. It has been a staple in my boat for the past couple of years now. They're pretty hard to find in Ontario. This one's actually a custom one I bought off Swimbait Universe. Actually, the one I caught my PB on last year. This is the type of bait I pretty much only use for pike. Again, I fish it more erratically. The hardware that comes stock on it kind of sucks, but after you change that out, you'll be catching pike after pike on this guy. So again, another pike bait for me, but a standard in my boat for many years and a standard for my boat this past year. So opposite of the Bull Glide, this is a shad or cisco profile bait. I picked this guy up this spring, not directly, of course. This is the Fisheverything Paperweight in just a sexy shad color. Striper split rings and hooks on this thing, and the pikes still bend it out. They're absolutely crazy. But either way, I bought it this spring with the intention again to fish it for pike. Again, shines when you're fishing it super erratically. Either reel, I usually do reel twitches, sometimes rod twitches, can really get the bait working from side to side and piss the pike off. A lot of times, you know, they would follow the bait in, I'd twitch it a couple times really erratically, and they would just absolutely destroy it. I definitely used it a fair bit this spring for pike, caught a lot of fish on it. To be honest with you guys, it was probably my highest producing pike bait this year, probably partially because I used it a fair bit. It's definitely held up actually. I'm pretty surprised by it. Yeah, just an overall really cool bait. Highly recommend if you can buy one used or secondhand. But yeah, that's the third bait right here that I put a fair bit of time into this year. And now we're going to move on to some more of my bass fishing for the 2021 year. Starting off with the little creep right here, the Pizz little creep. So I was really excited to get my hands on this bait. It's one of the new Pizz baits for this year. I've had a couple days in the past couple of years where I've had amazing rat days. Just to name one, I think it was 2020. I was out with my buddy Josh and Aaron, and it was raining, and I was absolutely just smacking them on the rat. Super fun day. So I was really excited to put another rat in my arsenal. Again, this is a little creep, just in the oyster color. I didn't actually catch a lot of topwater fish this year. The largemouth fishing and the smallmouth fishing for me was a little bit like, I don't know what it was for me this year, but I couldn't really dial the big swim bait game in. But all of the topwater fish that I did catch came off this little creep. It has a really nice swimming action, a straight retrieve swimming action, and it's actually really easy to walk as well. So I had a lot of fun with it. I actually filmed a little shorts swim video of it. I'll leave down below. I'll leave a link down below in the description. You guys can go have a look of how this bait looks in the water. But yeah, a lot of the topwater fish catches came off this guy right here. Super fun, of course, just giant blow-ups. And yeah, that's bait number 4. So next up, once again, another old faithful of mine. This bait has been my top producing bigger swim bait for over the past couple of years, to be honest with you guys. Again, I fish it a fair bit, and I'm a huge glide bait kind of gal. But yeah, this bait just flat out. If I was to pick up a bait that I have the most confidence in, it would be the Pizz baby carp right here. This is in Special J. So like I said, I love fishing a glide bait, and the baby carp has that smooth swim, yet an erratic kick that I really like in swim baits. Once again, I do have a shorts video of this bait if you guys want to see the swimming action. But this color imitates a lot of the forage we have up here, bluegill, perch, smaller stalker trout. So I think that's why it does very well for me. But yeah, that's another swim bait that definitely my highest producing swim bait of the year. A lot of smaller fish, a couple of bigger fish, but this is the one I usually tie on when I'm looking for that bite. And last but not least, what a day! I included this swim bait right here, particularly because not only did I catch a fair bit of, actually a lot of smallmouth on this bait, I had one of the most epic days of my life with this bait. This is the Pizz Shadlittle in the carp color, actually. No, not the carp color, the chubs color. So it has that little bit of a lighter pink belly, which you can't really tell anymore because of all the rash on it. But this bait right here was one heck of a bait for me this year. So early bass season back in May, I took this bait out for some smallmouth fishing. It was absolutely insane. It was my first year actually fishing pre-spawn, so for me, just learning all of that was a lot of fun. But being able to crack smallmouth and actually a couple of largemouth on this bait right here was an absolute blast. The way they hit a glide bait is second to none. It's just so fun. So I caught a fair bit of bass on this bait throughout the year, up until September, I would say, and then I switched over to fishing deeper. I never really this year got on that glide bait or big bait fall bite. I tried a couple times, I got skunked, so I didn't really get too much success there, but over the spring and the summer, I caught a lot of fish on this bait. In particular, the day that stands out to me is actually not a bass day, but a lake trout day. My buddy and I, Brian, we went out before a storm and tied on glide baits for lake trout, jig for lake trout. I tied on the Shadlittle. It probably took about 10 or 15 minutes to get down to, you know, 70 to 80 feet. But once it did, the way those lake trout acted around this bait was just amazing. I ended up catching my PB 3 times. I broke it 3 times in one day. Pretty much all the fish we caught were over 15, 16 pounds. Brian caught 120. I caught most of my fish were between 18 and 19 pounds. We weighed them in the net. I'll leave a link to that video down below in the description, but they were absolutely annihilating this bait down in 80 feet. So yeah, what an amazing day. Definitely, when I look at this bait and all the hook rash on it, I definitely remember all those lake trout, which is absolutely crazy because this is technically a bass bait, right? But yeah, that's probably my most memorable or my favorite bait of the year, just because of all the memories associated with it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to leave links down below in the description to any of the footage I have of these baits. I'll also leave links to where you guys can go have a look at them or purchase them. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for some steelhead and ice fishing action, and I'll see you guys in the next one.